Lightworker and Trump. Do these two things go together like hand in glove? um, I think we'll find out. We'll see what the cosmos have to say. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is for months, if not years now, myself and my friends have all been so confused as to why some people in the spiritual community are for Trump and think, call him names, light worker, think he's the savior, all this sort of stuff, bringing in the new age, while the other half are completely the opposite, right? The other half, thinks he's devil incarnate. So it just in the last couple of weeks, this whole, with more and more spiritual people like kind of coming out of the woodwork that I never even knew were supporters, I'm just so curious. So what do I want to say here? This is a real sensitive topic, and I am in no way trying to say in this video, I'm right, they're wrong, my way is the right way. No, I just have the tools that I use. I let the questions come to me and I throw the dice, throw the coins. And all I'm doing is delivering those answers to you. And I will say that some of the answers, excuse me, I've got a piece of hair, were surprising to me, to this personality. So, although not really, but in some ways they were. So it's just me throwing the dice and giving the answers to you. Here's the interesting thing that I've noticed about these two different camps, the pro and con, pro and against Trump, is that it does appear that the majority of people of the pro-Trump in the spiritual community tend to come from what you would call more of the new age group think arena, perhaps the newly awakened, the channelers, the people talking about ascension and, a law of attraction, creating your own reality, all that sort of stuff, new age, we're going to be ascending here pretty soon, the fifth dimension. That group, there's quite a few people in there that are pro-Trump. And then there's this other camp of spiritually minded people, and their focus is more on enlightenment, meditation, dissolving ego. They're all about following Muji, Adyashanti, they're totally different paths. I mean, all leading to the same place eventually, but different sets. And this group majority tends to be like, Trump is the devil. and I even, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi even predicted that the orange man would bring, the ending of the orange man. I think we know who he was talking about. He predicted that the ending that the orange man would represent Kali Yuga, would be the incarnation of Kali Yuga. And that when the orange man was gone, Kali Yuga would end and Sat Yuga, or the golden age, would begin. So I think that's where the whole against Trump group comes from. I don't know where the pro-Trump comes from. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but it's interesting to see these two different camps and how they work. So let's move on with the oracle session. Okay, let me look at my questions here. So this term light worker, starseed, indigo, crystalline, whatever label this community or whatever you've slapped on yourselves, these have never set right with me. And based on the answers here, they don't set well with the cosmos either. So first thing I wanted to know is, I said, is light worker, because I just don't like this term. It doesn't feel right to me. is light worker a valid term for some people on this planet? And I got, no, you're asking the wrong question. You're way off track. And I said, can you help me understand this term light worker? I said, no. And I thought, oh, I don't know what that means. And then it hit me, came in. Light worker is an image and not a valid term. Yes, yes, yes. So of course it couldn't help me understand what this term means because it's not a valid term. Because anything, these terms, starseed, light worker, whatever, is a label that the ego has created. It has slapped an image on you so that you can now behave and act and create values for yourself, so that when you get out of alignment, the ego can chastise you. And they're invalid terms. The cosmos does not, or pure being, acts without labels. It is prior to words and language. So of course, every time you slap on a label and you call somebody this or call yourself that, you do nothing more than block and hide your true self from expressing itself. So that's why it's not a valid term. Okay, so, but we use this term light worker, and from what I understand, what I believe is that term is, our definition is someone who is spiritually aware and consciously working towards the betterment of humanity, as well as working towards their own spiritual awakening and path to enlightenment and dissolving ego. So based on our definition, I asked, for the second time in my Oracle sessions, is Donald Trump working for the betterment of humanity? No, a simple no. That's the same answer that I got a couple months ago, excuse me. So then I asked, is Donald Trump a mature soul learning like everyone else? And you can, and I got it, well, yeah, you could say that, but you need to understand more. And the reason why I asked that question is because when Donald Trump first got elected, I did a channeling, and I did get a sense that he is a very mature soul, and that he is playing this role for a reason. You know, I thought it was, anyway, he is a mature soul, which does add credibility somewhat. He's not an old soul like many of us in the community are. He's a mature soul, so he's learning just like the rest of us. So we could say that. And I wanted some confirmation on whether my feeling of him being a mature soul was correct. So maybe, pretty much. Then it came to me. So Donald Trump as president, the role as president is his dharmic path. And I got a yes. You could say that. You need to understand more. Is Donald Trump, and then it struck me, is Donald Trump working for the betterment of America? And I got, yes, you could say that, but you need to know more. And then it hit me. This is what it means. What Trump believes is right for America is not necessarily right for America. Yes, now you understand. You've understood enough. So in this sense, he is working for the betterment of America, but he's clouded too much in ego, and he's not spiritually aware. He's not asking for help. He's not, listening to advisors. So he's not truly consciously working for the betterment of America nor humanity. I still wouldn't call him a light worker. Okay. So what Trump believes is right for America is not really right for America. Yes, you've understood enough. Trump's dharmic path is to reflect the shadow of American people. Yes, yes, yes. Now you understand. And I thought, okay, maybe this is what people are picking up on, and this is why they call him the light worker. And so I asked, did the consciousness or soul of Trump intend to play the role of shadow? And I got a bit of a yes. You could say that, but it's not necessarily true. It's not like he intended, I'm going to be the bad guy. What I'm sensing is the intention was that this is a playing out of his karma. Okay. And then, let's see. I asked, are people, or I made a statement, people are projecting onto Trump more than what is true. Yes, yes, you've understood enough. People are projecting light worker and he is not. Yes, you've understood enough. I don't know why I asked this, it just came to ask. It just was real heavy. Trump has done some very shadowy things. Yes, yes, yes. So there you go. From the information, the answers that I received, I cannot, in my heart of hearts, call him a light worker. I do feel he's a very mature soul that had perhaps an intention as a consciousness to play out his karma in a big role on planet Earth that would serve others. Perhaps that's where you could say, okay, he's kind of sacrificed himself to play this big role in front of everyone to see, his karma, playing out his karma for all to see, so that others can learn from. If you want to call that a light worker, great, but there's no conscious awareness there. There's no conscious spiritual evolution going on. Okay. So then I asked about the spiritually aware people who are for Trump, or the channelers that have received these messages, and there are many of them. So I'm not even indicating anyone in particular, I'm just saying in general. Spiritually aware people who are for Trump have been misled in some way. Yes, yes, yes. And misled can be from any direction. Their mind, preconceived ideas, from the answers that I got, from interference and channelings and all that sort of stuff. And that question, what I was visualizing were a couple of channels. I had pictures of several channels in my mind. Very, very popular channels in the New Age community that are supporting Trump. Okay, they don't all know each other, so I'm just trying to distance myself from pointing. I'm not pointing anyone out. Okay, so I asked, have these channels been receiving false messages? Yes, yes, yes. Then I wanted to dig a little bit more. This is just my ego mind. Are the messages coming from negatively polarized beings? And I got, yeah, you could say that, but there's more to know. Then I said, are these fourth dimensional beings that feed off or are attracted to this kind of energy, the energy of this Trump belief and false belief? And I go, yes, yes. Kind of the way I was asking the question, it was the concept that they were responding to, not the way I was verbalizing it. And I got a yes, yes, you've understood enough. And I said, the energy being created by this situation is of discord. Yes, yes. And they like this. And it's not that they're negatively polarized, it's just where these beings are located. It's just what they do. They're just being who they are, or they're doing what they do. Then I asked, will this be a lesson in discernment for these channelers or for these people in general? I got a yes, yes, yes. And then the two channels that I have in mind, they're very, very popular. You will have heard of them, known of them. And I asked about their clarity. And what I got was, let's see, I have some questions here that I'm not going to read to you, because then you'll know who they are. This is the right question to share with you. is the lack of awareness or level of awakening the cause of these channelers' misinterpretations? Yes, yes, yes. And the messages that they're getting from their team, their group, have been misinterpreted. And this is the question. The messages that these people, these channelers get, have been misinterpreted by the lower mind due to preconceived ideas? Yes, yes, yes. So this, and this is on the subject of Trump, and I suspect some other areas as well, but really this was more directed at the subject of Trump being a light worker, that due to, you know, pre-learned information or ideas and beliefs, something maybe even unconscious, that the lower mind, and due to their level of awareness or awakening, they have like this view, and rather than the on top of the mountain or beyond the mountain view top, they're misinterpreting, their mind's getting in the way and taking this feeling concept that is coming to them and turning it into words and ideas that are already in there and creating a message. Okay, and I can say this, that this is true, and this is what I felt from these channelers even before the Trump question came around. I can feel it in channelers. And why can I feel it? Because I had the same issue years ago when I was channeling. It's just natural. It's a natural progression that when you're at one level of awareness, you bring in one level of information. It's a more narrowed, and mind interferes. And here's the thing about levels of awareness and information and truths. At one level of awareness, something can be true, and at the next level, it can be opposite. It could have, you have these dichotomies of truth or paradoxes in truth. Okay, but I think on these points, I think there's one truth, and I'm not sure that Trump is truly a light worker in the definition that I'm describing here. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that was interesting, and until next time.